Imagine a quaint suburban home nestled peacefully among rows of similar houses. A new family moves in, eager to start fresh, unaware of the lurking terror. This is the story of the Thompson family, a family brimming with hopes and dreams, eager to embark on a new chapter of their lives in a seemingly idyllic suburban home. The father, a hard-working man, yearned for a quiet place to raise his children. The mother, a compassionate woman, sought a loving environment to nurture her family. And the children, filled with youthful energy, were excited for the adventure that awaited them. As they stepped into their new abode, the warmth of the setting sun bathed the rooms in a soft golden hue, casting long shadows that danced on the walls. The laughter echoed through the halls as they explored each room, their excitement palpable. This was their sanctuary, their haven, their home. But as the days passed, an oppressive air began to thicken within the house. The children's laughter gradually grew less frequent, replaced by an unsettling silence. A feeling of unease began to creep in, crawling under their skins, leaving them on edge. The house, once filled with the promise of a blissful life, now seemed to harbor an unseen presence. The father dismissed it as the stress of the move. The mother attributed it to the unfamiliar surroundings, and the children, well, they were too young to understand. They told themselves it was just their imagination playing tricks on them. But deep down they couldn't shake off the feeling that something was amiss. As the sun set, casting an ominous glow over the house, the family huddled together, seeking solace in each other's company. The shadows grew longer, the silence deafening, and the air grew colder. The house, once filled with warmth and love, now felt alien and forbidding. As night fell, a chilling aura began to seep into the corners of their new haven. One fateful night, a harmless séance took a sinister turn. In the heart of the quaint suburban home, a circle of flickering candlelight cast long dancing shadows. The family gathered, hands clasped in a chain of nervous anticipation, their eyes locked on the planchette resting atop the worn Ouija board. As the séance commenced, an icy chill swept through the room, the warmth of the living extinguished by the cold of the beyond. The air grew dense, heavy with an unseen presence that seemed to press upon their very souls. The candles flickered wildly as if dancing to an unheard melody, a spectral orchestra playing a symphony of dread. And then silence, a silence so profound it was almost deafening. Suddenly it was broken by a voice, an otherworldly echo that seemed to emanate from the very walls. It was a voice that was not a voice, a sound that was not a sound, a chilling whisper that crawled under their skin and froze their blood. The family sat frozen, their eyes wide with terror as the planchette began to move of its own accord. It skittered across the board, spelling out a name, a message, a warning. Their hearts pounded in their chests like a drum, matching the rhythm of their mounting fear. The once innocuous séance had transformed into a terrifying spectacle, a dark invitation to the unknown. The entity from the beyond had seized the opportunity to manifest, to make its chilling presence known. The family's initial reactions were a mix of disbelief and terror. Some recoiled in fear while others stared, transfixed by the unfolding horror. Yet they all shared a growing dread, a creeping realization that they had tampered with forces beyond their understanding. They had sought contact with the departed, but instead they had stirred the slumbering demon. They had reached out to the beyond, and the beyond had reached back with a malevolent grip. They had not just contacted the dead, they had summoned an entity, a presence fueled by centuries of hatred and malevolence. They had unknowingly opened a doorway, inviting in an entity from the beyond, and with that the true horror was about to begin. It didn't take long for the true nature of their unseen guest to make itself known. As the entity emerged from the shadows of the beyond, it was as though a chill wind blew through the heart of the household. An oppressive dread filled the air, thick and tangible, a palpable testament to the malevolent force that had made its presence known. This entity, this thing, was no ordinary spirit. It was a demonic presence, a vile creature fueled by centuries of hatred and malevolence. Its intentions were clear and terrifying. It sought to engulf and possess the unsuspecting family, to consume their very essence and twist it into something monstrous. Panic set in as the entity began its sickening games. It toyed with their minds, manipulated their perceptions, and sowed seeds of discord and fear among them. The once loving family was quickly becoming a battleground. a stage for an otherworldly puppeteer to control and contort at will. Each family member was subjected to their own personal nightmare, visions of grotesque horrors, whispers of unthinkable atrocities, apparitions that would chill the blood of the bravest soul. The entity reveled in their torment, feeding off their fear and despair, growing stronger with each passing moment. The home, once a haven of love and warmth, was now a prison of terror. The walls seemed to close in, the shadows deepened, and every creak, every rustle, every flicker of light was a sinister reminder of the entity's presence. Their sanctuary had been violated, their peace shattered. Days turned into waking nightmares as the entity's influence tightened its grip. One by one, the family members succumbed, their minds twisted, their spirits broken. The once vibrant household was now a tableau of chaos and madness, their lives spiraling into a grotesque dance of possession and terror. The entity reveled in their suffering, savoring the twisted satisfaction of their torment. It was a puppet master, pulling the strings with wicked glee, bending the family's fate to its will. Their home was no longer a sanctuary, but a playground for a malevolent force. A chilling reminder of the horrors that can arise from a seemingly innocent encounter with the supernatural. The entity was not content to merely exist alongside them. It had far more sinister intentions. It sought to control, to dominate, to consume. The family, once blissfully unaware of the lurking terror, now found themselves ensnared in the entity's malevolent grasp. Each member of the household began to experience their own private nightmares. The father, once a pillar of strength, was tormented by visions of his family turning against him, their faces twisted with hatred. The mother, always the heart of the family, was haunted by the chilling whispers of lost children, their cries for help echoing in her ears. The children, innocent and vulnerable, saw grotesque apparitions in every shadow, their dreams invaded by the monstrous entity. Paranoia began to snake its way through the household, a poison seeping into their thoughts, their relationships, their very souls. The entity was a puppet master, pulling at the strings of their sanity. It reveled in their fear, their confusion, their despair. It fed off their terror, growing stronger with each passing day. Trust began to crumble as accusations flew. The family, once united, now stood divided, each member suspecting the other of being under the entity's control. The entity watched, its malevolent laughter echoing in the darkness as the family fell apart. Their days were filled with dread, their nights with terror. Sleep was elusive, peace a distant memory. The entity was relentless, its torment unending. It reveled in their suffering, its existence validated by their fear. The once warm and loving home had become a chilling stage for the entity's twisted games. The walls echoed with their screams, their pleas for mercy falling on deaf ears. The entity was in control, its malevolent presence overpowering. Their lives had become a grotesque dance of fear and despair. The entity, a demonic puppeteer, had turned their world into a living nightmare. And the worst part? This was just the beginning. The entity was not yet satisfied. Its true torment was yet to come. The entity, unsatisfied with mere fear, sought complete control. Its insatiable hunger for power and dominance began to manifest in a horrifying spectacle. Each family member, one by one, fell victim to this malevolent force, their identities gradually consumed by the entity's unyielding darkness. The father was the first to succumb. A man of strength and resilience, he fought valiantly against the entity's influence. But as the days wore on, his resistance waned, his once vibrant eyes turned vacant, his laughter replaced by an eerie silence. The entity had claimed its first puppet, the father's spirit now a prisoner within his own body. Next was the mother, a beacon of warmth and compassion. She clung to her love for her family, hoping it would shield her from the entity's reach. But love, it seemed, was no match for the entity's calculated cruelty. Her nurturing spirit was extinguished, replaced by a cold, indifferent presence that bore little resemblance to the woman they once knew. The children were not spared either. Their innocence and youthful exuberance made them easy targets for the entity. It delighted in their fear, feeding off it, growing stronger with every tear shed, every scream echoed. Their once bright futures were now shrouded in darkness, their dreams replaced by nightmares. The entity reveled in its victory, the once loving family now under its sinister control. Each family member, once filled with life and joy, was now an empty vessel, a puppet dancing to the tune of the entity's malevolent whims. The entity's possession was complete. The family that once filled the home with laughter and love was no more. In their place were hollow shells, their humanity extinguished, their spirits consumed by the entity's relentless darkness. The demon had won, turning the family into mere puppets. The once quaint suburban home was now a cursed domain, a chilling testament to the entity's cruel game of possession. The entity's victory was a haunting reminder of the horrors that lurk in the shadows, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. The suburban home was now a cursed domain, a pit of despair. The once familiar walls of the house now resonated with a haunting echo of the unspeakable terror that had unfolded. Its once warm and inviting aura had been replaced by a chilling, spectral presence that hung heavy in the air. The entity, now fully manifested, reveled in the chaos it had created. The family, a mere puppet to its malevolent desires, was lost in the abyss of its own mind. Their identities, once so vibrant and full of life, now lay shattered, their humanity extinguished, replaced by the cold, dark essence of the demon. The house, once a haven of love and laughter, had transformed into a chilling theater of demonic possession. The once lively rooms were now silent, save for the occasional whisper of the entity, a morbid lullaby that echoed through the hollowed halls. The once bright and cheery windows, now shrouded in an eternal darkness, reflected the grotesque dance of possession that unfolded within. The entity's influence had seeped into the very foundation of the house, leaving an indelible mark that time could not erase. The walls bore silent witness to the torment, their once vibrant hues now a grim palette of despair. The once manicured lawn, now overgrown and wild, stood as a stark reminder of the life that once thrived within. The house stood as an ominous monument, a chilling testament to the horrors of the supernatural, a stark reminder of the malevolent force that had once lurked within its walls, and the innocent family who had unknowingly invited it into their lives. In the quiet stillness of that night, the house stood alone, its chilling silhouette a haunting reminder of the terror that had unfolded. The once peaceful suburban home, now a cursed domain, stood as a chilling testament to the demonic possession that had consumed the unsuspecting family. This seemingly peaceful abode was now a chilling testament to the horrors of the supernatural. What you've heard is a tale of terror, a chilling reminder of the unseen forces that may lurk in the shadows. It's a story of a once peaceful suburban home turned into a pit of despair, a playground for a malevolent entity from the beyond. Strangers to the supernatural, an innocent family found themselves embroiled in a battle against an ancient demonic presence, a battle they tragically lost. Now consider this, if you were to walk in their shoes, if you were to face the same chilling predicament, how would you react? Would you stand firm, or would fear cloud your judgment? Would you allow the entity to manipulate your mind, to sow discord and fear, or would you stand united against the unseen terror? The question, my dear listener, is not whether such entities exist. The real question is, what would you do if you found yourself in a similar situation? Would you be able to resist the entity's malevolent control? If you found yourself captivated by this harrowing tale, then you are clearly a brave soul who relishes the thrill of the unknown. As we delve deeper into the shadows, we continue to uncover more chilling tales of the supernatural, and we invite you to join us on this journey. If you enjoyed this chilling tale and want to hear more, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Your support allows us to continue sharing these stories. Stay tuned for more scary content. And remember, while these tales may send a shiver down your spine, they also serve as a reminder to be vigilant. For the world is filled with mysteries, and the unseen forces that lurk in the shadows are always waiting to reveal themselves. So as we bid farewell to this tale of terror, we leave you with one final thought. Be brave, be strong, and always be prepared, for you never know when the shadows may come to life and you find yourself face to face with the unknown.